Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Earth, the board game. Now, what you're looking at here is the game on Tabletop Simulator. I do have my copy of the board game right next to me, but I wanted to sort of dive into the Tabletop Simulator version because A, I've got Marvel Champions on my tabletop, and B, I wanted to sort of figure the game out before I actually put it out on the table. I just played the solo mode, and I gotta say, guys, this is so good. This game is fantastic. It reminds me of different games that play in a solo manner. It's got that Wingspan engine builder feel. Certain cards will task you with, like, at the end of the game, for every card that you have bolded, meaning that it's like a geographic location, you get points for that. And it's also like Sagrada in the sense that in certain parts of the game, when you draw cards, whatever you discard, because you have to give to the AI, and they get points for it. And the AI is called Gaia in this game. And Sagrada, you're doing the same thing with dice. You're drafting dice, but any that you don't pick go to the AI for points. So it's pulling ideas from all sorts of different directions, and I love it. It is so good. So I just want to quickly show you the aftermath of the board game. We will play a full game and explain the full rules as best we can at some point. This is more of like an introductory to the game itself. So this is what the box looks like. The game is gorgeous. This game is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I got the Kickstarter version behind me. Can't wait to try it out. The Kickstarter version comes with wooden tokens, whereas the retail version comes with like punch-out cardboard tokens. So anyway, so what is Earth? What are you trying to do in this game? Well, you essentially are building a 4x4 grid of cards. Let me show you a player that hasn't done anything yet. So you're building this grid here. It's a 4x4 grid, and you're going to be putting various cards into this tableau. And you pay for these cards with dirt. Dirt is like your primary currency over here. And this is your player board. There are 4 different actions one can take. And the actions in this game are very much like Race for the Galaxy and other similar games in that when you take that action on your turn, everyone else gets like a secondary thing that they can do. It's not as powerful as the main action that you're doing, but everyone else can still do something. So everyone isn't sitting there waiting for someone to finish their turn. No, what you do affects other people too. So it's got that whole like Race for the Galaxy. I'm picking this phase and now everyone gets to do it, but I get the more powerful thing because I chose it. That kind of thing. You can plant in this game, which allows you to play cards from your hand into this tableau over here, if that's what you want to do. You can also draw cards, like draw 4, pick 1. Composting, that's another type of action. You can get dirt, which allows you to pay for cards, and you can also compost cards, which I'll get to a little bit. Watering, you can add these green plants to the cards that you're putting onto your tableau, and they'd give you points at the end of the game. Every green plant that you put on a card, you get one extra point. Okay, and you get more dirt as well from watering. Also, growing, it's the other action you can take. You can draw 4 cards from the deck, and then you can add trees to your cards as well. So not only are you adding plants, but you're also adding trees. And what does that look like? Well, on my playthrough, this is it. The green cubes represent the plants. And if you've ever played the game Wingspan, then you'll know that like these cards, the cards in Wingspan have little egg silhouettes on them. That's how many eggs you can put on that card before your max is filled out. This game with plants, it's the same thing. This card here, the Mountain Fern Moss, has space for 3 plants. So this is like 3 victory points right here at the end of the game. That's from the blue action. Adding plants, the plus 6 green cubes there in blue. Anyway, and then growth. You've got these cool things. So this is a little bit more complicated. I wish it didn't snap like that, but okay. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the upper right of the card is a large green circle. That's where these things go. And then there's a little brown number on the bottom left of it. It says 3. That is how many tree parts you can put there, maximum. Each trunk is worth a point. However, if you complete the tree and get it to its max height, you get 6 points. That's the number in white. So this is worth 1 point. This is worth 2 points. This is the full 6 points because it's now maxed out at 3. Okay? That's how these work, which is really cool. So when possible, you want to max these out. Rather than get 1 point per trunk, you want to max these guys out and get the full white number value there on the bottom right there. Okay, so those are the 4 different actions in the game. Also at the beginning of the game, each player will get an island. There's a lot of iconography. That's what took me so long. It took me 2 or 3 hours to finish the game with Gaia. The bottom left is a black background. Black backgrounds mean you get it now and that's it. At the beginning of the game, you start with 11 cards, you have to compost 3 of them, and you get 6 dirt and currency. What do I mean by composting? I keep alluding to that. Composting is your personal discard pile. For every card you put into your discard pile, you get a point. If you've ever played Wingspan, you can tuck cards behind birds and get points that way. It's the same system, except you're putting face-down cards into a pile to earn points. And you can spend these too, depending on certain card powers. And I'll get to that later. But suffice it to say, everyone gets an island, and they get starter cards, currency, and on the bottom right of that is in a brown ability. It says, for every... if the card that you're buying has a sun symbol on it, it's -1 dirt. So when I'm buying a card, say this Mountain Laurel, on the very top, there's a little sun symbol. It costs me 1 dirt less. The cost is in the upper left. That says 5 dirt in the upper left. So that would cost me 4 to put down instead of 5 because of that one ability right there. Anyway, you also start with a climate card. And this is another special ability that you get. If you choose, in this case, the yellow action, you get 2 dirt. So on your turn, if you choose to do the yellow action, you get 2 free dirt, which is cool. Okay. Also, these leaves that you keep seeing in the upper left there, those are victory points. So you actually earn victory points. I forgot to factor that in with my in-game scoring. Huh. Let me change that real quick. I should have 46. Yeah, eat that. 218. Yeah, I just played Gaia, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, also everyone now in the advanced game, everyone gets an ecosystem card. This is a personal card that allows them to earn points in extra ways. This one says, I get 4 victory points for every mushroom card in 1 continuous line through diagonally adjacent cards. So, for example, this turkey tail is a little mushroom. It's a little mushroom there. Then I've got a mushroom here. That's 2. That's diagonal. They're adjacent. Adjacency in this game is orthogonal and diagonal. Then here, I've got a card that is a wild, the Swamp Sprouts. And then I've got this one, Dragon Sprouts, also wild. So it just went boom, boom, boom. So at the end of the game, I scored, 16 points for that, because it was 4 in a continuous line. So 16 points. And these cards are double-sided. They're given to you randomly, and then you pick the side that you want. So it depends on what you like. This is your compost pile, which I already alluded to. If you play any cards in this game that are event cards, in addition to playing cards to your tableau, sometimes you'll get event cards. You can play them here, and they are typically worth negative points. I don't know if I could find any. I think Gaia has some in her deck, but trying to find it with Tabletop Simulator. Of course, they're going to be on the very bottom of the deck. You know what? There was one right there. There it is. Okay. That's an event. Earthquake Fissure. It's -1 point, but you can give up 5 cubes on your tableau to draw a card and compost 8 cards from the deck, which isn't bad. So it's not a terrible thing. Again, you get a victory point for every card in your compost pile at the end of the game, too. So this here is worth 30 points for me, which is nice. I've got 30 cards in there. So, long story short, you start with islands, climates, and then in the advanced game, also an ecosystem card, just to get some extra oomph. Event cards, if you have any, down here, you count those in. I think that's all I want to tell you there. And again, you can play cards to your tableau. Here's a quick look at what some of them look like. Again, any black backgrounds are immediate bonuses. They do not come in at all later on. There are cards, though, with these other colored bars on the bottom. Whenever someone takes an action, everyone else can't, well, whether it be you or someone else, when they pick a color, like let's say they do the green action, or no, let's do the yellow. So let's say that someone does the yellow action, okay? You can not only do the secondary action over here, but now any card with a yellow ability on it you can activate, even these multicolored ones. So I can do all of these things when yellow is activated. And I can do all the red things when red is picked for that round. And I can do all the blue things if someone picks blue for that round, and so on. So it's got an engine builder theme. And you're doing this from left to right like a book, from top to bottom. So you're going to go across, and then across, and across, and across. And you're going to activate all these things. And then you can also activate anything over here. Like I said, I have a yellow thing. So if someone picks the yellow action, I can totally do this as well, which is cool, but it has to be on my turn per this card. If you choose the yellow action, if I choose the yellow action, I get to take 2 dirt. So victory points in this game, you get points for the values on the cards themselves, which again, on the upper left-hand corner, the leaf symbol, that's 4 victory points right there for that avocado tree. Any boost cards, which are negative, 1 point for every card in your compost, 1 point for every green cube you've got on your cards. You get 1 point per trunk, or just a certain amount of points for the trees that you've completed on these cards. This one is any brown cards, terrain cards in this game, sometimes have endgame conditions. This one says 3 victory points for every mushroom that is orthogonally adjacent to this terrain. So I've got a mushroom here, I've got a mushroom there, I've got a mushroom there, and I've got a mushroom here. That's 12 points. Orthogonally adjacent. It doesn't say diagonal, it says orthogonal. So I made sure to put my mushrooms in this diagonal here that satisfies the one ecosystem and also satisfies this swamp here, and I get points for that. So certain brown cards have endgame conditions, and then these are the ecosystem cards. In addition to your own ecosystem, the game will task you with completing 2 public ones. And again, this is advanced stuff, advanced game stuff. This one says 5 victory points for every 2 cards, each with 4 plus green cubes on them. I didn't get any points for that one. This one, though, this is 9 points for every 2 flora card, the green cards, each with a geographic term in their name. Terms are in bold. Well, I did that multiple times. I have mountain. And then mountains, that's a pair of 2. I've got mountain again down here, and I've got American, that's bolded, and there's swamp, that's bolded. So I have 5 total, which it comes out to 2 pairs of, it's 4 total. So I got 18 points for that, yeah. And also, if that weren't enough, there are these goals that you're sort of competing for during the game. Ecosystems are end game stuff. And this is, I forgot to give myself 7 points for this. Sorry, ADHD is kicking in. You are competing for these brown fauna cards during the game. This one is 15 or more cards in your compost pile. The first person to do that gets to do the top one, which is 15 points. And then the next person gets the next one down, the next one down, the next one down. On the beginner side, which is on the flip side of this, all of them are worth 10, so there's no competing to get there first. So if someone claims it on the beginner side, you still have time to get 10 points if, as long as you get it before the end of the game, is what it comes out to be. But yeah, you're competing for these. And again, they're double-sided. You don't know what's going to come up. I love the art on these cards. They're fantastic. There's a sloth. I love it. Oh, look at that. The European mole. How cute is that? And the pale-billed woodpecker. This game is beautiful. I love it. The bald eagle. Anyway, so public goals that players are competing for in the normal game. On the beginner side, it's just get to it when you can. If you don't, 0 points. If you do, it's 10, I think it is. Something like that. And then you get, if you're the first player to complete your grid of a 4x4 grid, then you get 7 points, which I forgot to give myself. So 46 plus 7 is 53. 46, no, 42. I can add. No, 43, yeah, 50, yeah, 46 plus 7 is 53. That was 7 points, right? Yeah, it was 7 points, yeah. So 53 there. 225 to 173 is my game again. Gaia, for the solo mode, does not do the ecosystem cards, does not. There are cards in its deck, so the way this works, the AI has a deck of 6 cards. A deck, that's it, a deck of 6. When it gets through all this, it shuffles again, and then when it gets through it again, the game is over. Unless you complete your grid first. These cards tell you what the AI will do on their turn. This is something I'll go over later because this is just a lot of stuff. But there are 2 cards in the 6-card deck that tell her to claim a public objective, which are those brown cards, that mole, for example. She just puts a token on one of those. And that's how she earns toward those up there. But this will tell her what she does, and you can also do stuff too. The top part there is like something I can do. I can grow twice, or I can take 2 cards, and then I can activate all my yellow cards and my wild multicolor cards. And then on the bottom is what she gets. And I love the little things on the bottom too. Let's see if I can read that. 430 quintillion joules of energy hit Earth every hour, whereas humans use 410 quintillion each year. That's awesome. So yeah, this game is fantastic. The AI board, in case you're curious, she will earn green plants as normal. She will earn trees as normal, and they go from like left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left. And she scores points for all that she fills up. If she gets 10 dirt, she turns that into compost. She's got like 32 cards in her compost. On occasion, she will also get face-up cards in here, and she'll get whatever the victory points are shown there. So you're trying to give her low cards if at all possible. And yeah, that is Earth in a nutshell. I didn't go over all the rules, but hopefully this gives you some idea as to what you're getting into, should you decide to get into this game. If you liked Wingspan, that's the closest comparison I can make, but it does borrow certain mechanics from like Sagrada, with the whole drafting dice, at least in solo mode, and other like Race for the Galaxy, where you're picking a phase essentially, and other players get in on it at a weaker action. You know what I mean? So there you go, folks. The Tabletop Simulator version is free, so if you want to try the game for yourself, go ahead. Just be warned, it's not scripted. Only setup is scripted. So you need to know how to play the game in order to try it. But if you're interested, I'll do a full playthrough on here. But again, I've got the actual board game behind me, and I'd rather show that off wherever possible. But that was Earth the board game. Fantastic. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch y'all next time. Take care.